So this is Chris Johnson's guide to making homemade rhubarb wine. I've made this for a couple of years, and I'm going to show a few people who are interested in making rhubarb wine how I do it. So behind me is the rhubarb plant that I'm harvesting. There's the rhubarb. This is the third time that I'm harvesting, and what I do is I thin it out by about a third every time I go through it and collect just the biggest growths. I end up cutting off the very bottom and the tops, as there is some toxin in the leaves and in just the roots, so I chop off about that much of everything. Then I end up with a pile of the stalks and the leaves and the very ends of the roots. When I get it inside, I put it in the sink and give it a nice rinse. Get all the dirt and such off. Then I end up using the slicing blade on the food processor. This is perhaps a slightly larger batch than average, but I end up with about 3.5 pounds usually of rhubarb per harvest. So after about 3 harvestings, I get about 10 pounds worth, which is good for a 5-gallon batch. After I bag it up each harvest, I put it in the freezer then, at least overnight for it to freeze. So you see I've got a couple bags there, 2 other bags worth of raspberries and 2 smaller bags, each with about 2 pounds worth of red raspberries ready to thaw. Now the reason why you want to freeze them at least overnight is because the freezing actually of the water breaks the cell membranes, and then when it's time to thaw, it releases a lot more of its own juices without you having to squeeze it as much. So now I am all ready. I've pulled the bags of frozen rhubarb and berries out of the freezer, and I've got my supplies. I've got my 10 pounds of granulated sugar, got my distilled water ready to go, and here I've got my sanitized bucket that I'm going to thaw it out with the sugar, and I've lined it with my my strainer bag. So as you can see, there is my frozen rhubarb, the first bag of it, and I'm going to layer it here by pouring some of the sugar right on top of it, just to help so that as it thaws and that sugar dissolves on it, the sugar helps pull that moisture, the juice out of the rhubarb. I'll do this between every layer here to help it out. See, to the about 10.5 pounds of rhubarb, I'm adding 2 pounds of raspberries and 6 ounces of blackberries frozen. And there are the frozen raspberries and blackberries. You know it's going to be a good product when, even before it starts, everything looks great. So there is all the frozen fruit and sugar, and I just put a lid on top of it so no bugs fall in, and let that go overnight. As you can see, one important part of the process is to write everything down, so if it's successful, you know what to repeat or to tweak for the next batch. Alright, so it is the next day. It's been overnight, about 12 hours now, or actually like 16 hours, and this is what it looks like. As you can see, it's all thawed. There's still some chunks of undissolved sugar there, but if I just tip this bucket, you can see, look at all that. I haven't squeezed it at all yet. That's just the work of the maceration of the sugar and the previously frozen fruit. So I've got my previously sanitized carboy here, and it's just using my bottling bucket here to let the flow now of all that sugary water to go down there. I'm going to have to tip the bucket and get the strainer away from the side a little bit to really fully get it flowing. Here's another view of what all the juice looks like. The bottom there, again, this is without pressing anything at all. Okay, so what I did is I basically squeezed that bag as much as I could, really worked it around, and what I've got there is like the first pressing, so that's basically nothing but straight the juice and the liquids from the fruit, plus a little bit of water that I used just rinse my hands off actually in there, because I had my hands off a little sugary liquid. So a little bit of water, but mostly that is, I don't know, it's over a gallon, 1.5. This is a 6.5 gallon carboy, so it's a, 1.5-ish plus or minus gallons there of just super sweet liquid from it. And you can see there the bag, I'm just squeezing the heck out of it as much as I can. And now what I'm going to do is go through a couple iterations of, stopping up the hose here so it doesn't flow there, and just essentially rinsing the bag with those sugars out. And I'll do that probably at least 2 times, where I put in about 1.5 gallons, 1.25 gallons of water, let that go back in the fruit, soak it up, squeeze it again, so I'm really just rinsing the fruits and the sugars off of the fruit pulp. So there's the bucket, just added about 1 gallon, a little over 1 gallon of water. You can see the color of the water there, and I'm about to really get my hands in there, squeeze that bag and extract some more sugar and flavor. And now you can see here, so that's after I was really working it and squeezing with my hand, really mixing this up, getting all the fruit in contact with that fresh water here. And you can see now we've got some really rich red juice here that's still got a lot of sugars, and as you can see, a lot of the fruit color. So here it is after the second pressing. You can see about twice as much liquid there. Now I just added another batch, maybe about 1 gallon of water or so. And I'm about to squeeze it out again. You can see there's the color of the water, fairly light, before the pressing. Now it is, so this is the water from the second kind of soaking, pressing. Looks pretty similar, maybe on camera, but I can tell here definitely that it's not quite as vibrant, not quite the color it was beforehand, and it's thinning out a lot because the sugars are coming out. Now this is my third and final kind of addition, and I think you could probably see that now by the camera by this time, that it's a very different looking water here. You can actually see my fingers underneath through the liquid now. Standing here, it's definitely very, very different than even the last pressing. So after 3 pressings, this is the bag of pulp that's left from, let's see, about 12, almost 13 pounds of fruit. I should weigh this to see exactly how much, but it only feels like a couple pounds here. And this is the carboy full of the sugary fruit juice, which I'll measure the gravity now. As you can see there, we got a initial gravity here of about 1.100, which is right where we want it. Just wanted to note that if the initial gravity was too high, then we would just add some more water to thin it out. So if it's too low, just add some sugar. And shoot, you could look it up, but I think it's like it's around 50 gravity points per pound per gallon. So I'd have to get back to you with the math. Okay, one crucial part to show is we got potassium metabisulfite here, which is going to kill any of the wild yeasts that are in there. So here I've got my, I'm adding an 1/8 teaspoon, so I've got my 1/4 teaspoon, about halfway full here worth of it, and I'm just going to dissolve it in some of that juice there. Just wanted to record one very interesting thing I didn't expect, and that is, see that glass on the left there was just the juice. It's the same juice I had on the glass on the right there, but I added the potassium metabisulfite, and it totally changed color. It took that red right out of there. So this is the day after I added the potassium metabisulfite, and now I'm going to aerate a few minutes by taking the top off and just putting it on the ground and kind of racking it back and forth to get some air involved for the first phase of the fermentation, the aerobic. So here is basically what you do to aerate it. Just tip the bottle on a little bit of angle and start rocking it back and forth, and you're just looking to slosh that stuff around in there for a couple minutes to get some air dissolved, some oxygen dissolved. So now what I've got is a little bit of, I usually use distilled water. I ran out, so I just boiled some water, let it cool down. Got, I don't know, about a 1/4 cup of that. And I've got my yeast, Lalvin K1V1116, nice for a fruit wine. So I'm just going to pour it into the water. And we're doing this instead of not directly dumping in. It's like do this for beer. And it's because it's going to rehydrate the yeast prior to dumping, prior to pitching, and that way a lot more of the yeast stays active. Otherwise, you dump it right into that with the sugar content, and through osmosis, I believe it kills some of those yeast cells. All right. After waiting for a minute here, yeast is dissolved, kind of slurred it up, and now it's time for pitching in the must. Just gonna slightly mix it around here, put the airlock in, and check on it when I get back home from work. This is now the night after which I pitched the yeast, and you could see already we've got a nice krausen. After about 2 days now, we got really steady fermentation. See the top of the surface just bubbling up. And you can see the top surface is just full of little bubbles rising to the top, and it's going. We've got a temperature of about 71 degrees, which is about 2 or 3 degrees higher than it was when we started. And you can see there that some of the stuff that's now settled on the bottom with the yeast action kind of gets kicked up and is getting stirred around. So this will probably continue on like this for another few weeks. It is now July 4th, the 3rd day after I added the yeast, and you could see the color is dramatically changing to much lighter, now it's pink. Still, we got really good fermentation going, very active now, and yep, on the top. I don't know if you can see it, but the bubbles are still swirling around really nicely. And I don't know if it's just because of the temperature outside increasing, or because of the fermentation actually is exothermic reaction, and so it's now up to about 73 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, so now this is the finished product, and I've got actually 2 different vintages here, 2 different batches. The one on the left, and I put a white piece of paper behind so you could hopefully see the difference. I'm not sure if it's going to come through the camera too much, but the one on the left is slightly lighter in color. Not quite as bright, it looks to me. The one on the right here, is slightly darker red and a little bit more bright. So the difference here, this older one is from 2010. It's the last batch of the year, the last harvesting, made in October. It was in the carboy fermenting and clearing out for 5 months before bottling. Original gravity was 1092, and it was 12 pounds of rhubarb, 10 pounds of sugar, and like I said, 1092 original gravity, and it finished out at just 1. The one on the right then is, let's see, September of 2011 I made that. So that was probably the last harvest of that year, just last year. That one was quite different. That was 15 pounds of rhubarb, 2.8 pounds of raspberries, with 10 pounds of sugar, original gravity of 10.100, and let's see, after fermenting for like a month actually, I added 3.5 pounds of grape juice from the Myers neighbors had some Concord grapes, so to that one I added 3.5 pounds of grape juice to it a month later, and it finished out again about 1, but that one actually, maybe its brightness is contributed to the fact that it was in fermenting and clearing out for all the way through May, so about 8-9 months, so before bottling. Okay, so it's kind of an unfair taste comparison because I'm doing this quickly and this one is more chilled than this, but just to give you a sense of how these two are different. So this is the older one, and there definitely is a different aroma. You do get a lot more fruit in the nose of the one that there is more fruit from. And the rhubarb one, the older one, 2010, maybe it's just because it's cold, but it's got more body. The rhubarb is definitely more pronounced, and by now, I don't know if it's just because it's older, but it's more vegetal. This one here, the more recent one, with more raspberries and the extra grape. The fruit definitely comes through, and again, it's probably just the temperature now, but the body is thinner, which is, I like it, it's nicer. So, the one that I just made is going to be a lot closer to the more recent one with more raspberry presence.